Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud. We learn to lead. My name is Vikas. So friends, in this video we'll be discussing the most important current affairs of the topic science and technology of the March month. So do watch the video till the end, hit the like button, share the link of this video with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do subscribe. So friends, let's start with our video, but before that we have something important to tell you about. We have an app by the name Carriers Cloud which you can go and download through the Play Store. Once you have downloaded the app, you will open the app and you'll see this type of screen. In this, you can go and log in with your Google account, that is your Gmail ID. Then once you have logged in, then you will be moved to this page where you can see a window. If you click on the current affairs section here, then you will be moved to this page. Now this is where magic happens. This is the course where there are two courses provided by us. First, you should know it is of 1 year and 2 years, so choose your course accordingly. What we are providing and what is the reason behind that you should purchase course of current affairs from us, and what are the important details about it. First thing, you should know that we provide you current affairs in both English and Hindi. Okay, also we provide you here current affairs daily. PDFs are provided daily. The important factor here to remember is we are providing PDF to you daily. Okay, that contains question answers of the daily current affairs. They are explained in a much easy way where you can grasp the knowledge and do your revision. Okay, apart from that, we provide you with question answers. Then on every day we provide you 20 question answers quiz, daily 20 questions quiz. So imagine how much it will benefit you in your preparation. Then we provide you same thing for weekly. In weekly we take a quiz of 50 questions. Then question answers of week, we provide you a book. PDF is provided you weekly of the compiled questions of the whole week. Similarly for monthly also, ebook is given, your quizzes are taken, question answers PDF. Then apart from it, we also help you to prepare for banking papers. All the banking exams you can go refer to our videos and our courses here. You can see here we provide you banking and economic quiz of 157 questions. Okay, then topic wise PDFs are covered. As you can see, we are making videos on indexes and reports, important days, the books and authors, all the events that are taking place in individual months. So these PDFs are provided to you and they will help you a lot in your preparation for journal awareness, your journal studies, as well as for current affairs. Then you can see we also provide you current affairs for state wise current affairs are provided to you. Apart from this, I have a gift for all of my friends here. If you use my code Vikas10, you will be getting a straight 10% discount on the purchase you make. So when you are about to check out and do the payment, just before the payment, you will be getting an option to use the promo code. There you can put the Vikas10, the code, and you will be getting an extra 10% discount on the total purchase you make there. So let's start with our video. So the first topic that we'll be discussing is Amazonia 1. Amazonia 1 is a satellite that was recently launched by ISRO. And the question that will be asked from this particular news is Amazonia 1 is the satellite of which country? So Amazonia 1 is the satellite of Brazil, and along with Amazonia 1, remember ISRO launched 18 other satellite. Alright, then if we talk about the questions that will be framed from Amazonia 1. Amazonia 1. First of all, Amazonia 1 is a satellite of which country? It is the satellite of Brazil. First question. Second question, this will be launched by which country? It will be launched by ISRO. And if we are talking about ISRO, then that means it will be launched by India. And from India, where, from which location it will be launched? It will be launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center. Alright, then this will be launched using the PSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle. PSLV, and this PSLV is Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle. Alright, so Amazonia 1 is the name of the satellite of Brazil country. It will be launched by India's ISRO, that is International Space Research Organization, from Satish Dhawan Space Center using PSLV, that is your Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle. If we look at some of the data related to this, Indian Space Research Organization successfully launched first primary Amazonia 1 and 18 co-passenger satellites from India and USA from 13. That means 5 out of the 18, 5 satellites are from India, and the 13 are from USA, and they will be launched from the location of Satish Dhawan Space Center, that is in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. Then this satellite will be launched using the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, as just I said, PSLV. Then Amazonia 1 mission is the first dedicated PSLV commercial mission for New Space India Limited, which is ISRO's commercial arm that was set up in 2019. The ISRO's first launch of 2019, it was launched 14 missions in 2021. If we are talking about Amazonia 1, it is an optical Earth observation satellite of the National Institute for Space Research, that is INPE, Brazil. Basically, you need to remember that Amazonia 1, this is the satellite of Brazil. This is the question that will be asked. Alright, it is the satellite of Brazil. Then NSIL undertook the mission under a commercial arrangement with Spaceflight Incorporation USA. It will provide remote sensing data to users for monitoring deforestation in the Amazon region and analysis of diversified agriculture across Brazil. The data will be utilized for monitoring coastal regions, water reservoirs, natural and cultivated forest, and prediction of possible environmental disasters. It has a mission life of 4 years and weighs around 637 kg. Alright, back to the information that will be asked in your exam. The name of the satellite, you know, it is Amazonia 1. It is of which country? It is of Brazil. And then remember, it will be launched by ISRO from Satish Dhawan Space Center. This is in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. This will be launched using the PSLV, that is Polar Satellite Launching Vehicle. Alright, so moving on to next. Next we'll be talking about Arctica M. Arctica M is a satellite of Russia. Alright, remember Amazonia 1 was a satellite of Brazil and Arctica M is a satellite of Russia. This is the first Arctic monitoring satellite. Alright, I remember this is first Arctic monitoring satellite that will be detailing about the climate change on the Arctic area. Then this will be launched from Soyuz 2-1B rocket. We'll just see in a moment. First thing, see, remember, what is Arctica M? This is the name of the satellite of Russia. Direct question will be asked. Arctica M is related to which country? It is related to Russia. Then another question will be, recently an observation satellite for Arctic was launched. What is the name of the satellite that was launched by Russia? It is Arctica M to monitor Arctic region. Alright. Then next will be, it is launched from using Soyuz 2.1B rocket. This is the rocket that was used in this. Alright. Then the data is important. Do pay attention to this. Russia launched Arctica M. This is the first satellite to monitor climate change in the Arctic region. The satellite was launched from Soyuz 2.1B carrier rocket from Baikonur Cosmodrome, Kazakhstan. Alright, basic thing to remember is name of the satellite is Arctic M and it is the first satellite to monitor the climate change in Arctic region, and it was launched using the rocket Soyuz 2.1B. Arctic M is the first of 2 satellites launched by Russia for creating a hydrometeorological climate monitoring system to monitor the climate and environment in the Arctic Ocean. That means basically this is to monitor the climate, that what are the changes taking place in the climate during a span of time. Alright, the second Arctica satellite is set for launch in 2013 or 2023. If we look at some of the key points, the satellite will be able to monitor and take images every 50 to 13 minutes. Alright, so remember that it will be able to take picture from the earth or of the particular Arctic region every 15 to 30 minutes of the Arctic due to highly elliptical orbit which passes over the northern latitudes. The satellite will be able to retransmit distress signals from the ship, aircraft, people in remote part of International Corpus Saris Research and Rescue Program. Alright, so coming back to the data, Arctic M is the satellite that will be launched. Basically this is satellite is launched for the monitoring of the Arctic region, to monitor the climate change and all that for the research purposes. Alright, so Arctic M, it is the satellite of which country? It is of Russia, and this will be launched using the rocket Soyuz SOYUZ 2.1B rocket. Alright, do remember the name of the rocket also. Then moving on to next is that ISRO has developed a radar for joint earth observation satellite with the help of NASA. I repeat, ISRO along with NASA has developed a radar for joint earth observation satellite mission, and name of the this observation radar is that you should know, and it is a kind of a satellite, so basically you should know the name of the satellite, that is RH560. RH stands for Rohini. Alright, this is a series of satellites by the name Rohini. Alright, so this is RH560. This will be launched from which location? Same, Satish Dhawan Space Center. And where is this? This is in Andhra Pradesh. Alright, Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh. Next we'll be talking about a joint program of ISRO and NASA. They have teamed up together to develop radar for joint earth observation satellite mission. Alright, and the name of the mission is that you should know, is very important. First of all, remember NISAR, NISAR. Alright, then if we break this term NISAR, it is NASA, N for NASA, I for ISRO, and SAR. Alright, done. NISAR, NASA ISRO SAR, that means it is a joint program between NASA and ISRO. They will be developing a radar for joint earth observation satellite along with ISRO and NASA. They will be working together on, and the name of the mission is NISAR, that is NASA ISRO SAR. Alright, if we talk about SAR, SAR stands for synthetic aperture radar. Alright, so we will discuss this here. ISRO has completed the development of a synthetic aperture radar called NISAR, NASA ISRO SAR, which is capable of producing high resolution images. It will be used for joint earth observation satellite missions of ISRO and NASA. The radar penetrates clouds and darkness, enabling NISAR to produce high quality images round the clock in any weather. NISAR is the first satellite mission to use two different radar frequencies to measure changes in the planet's surface. The agreement for developing NISAR was signed between NASA and ISRO in 2014. If we talk about NISAR, it is an Earth observation mission. The Earth observation mission is targeted to be launched early in 2022 from ISRO's Sriharikota spaceport, that is in Andhra Pradesh. What is the purpose of the mission if we talk about it? The purpose is to measure the Earth changing ecosystems, dynamic surfaces, ice masses, providing information about biomass, natural hazards, sea level rise and groundwater. Alright, so this is NISAR. It is an radar for joint Earth observation between India and USA. That means for ISRO and NASA, they will be jointly developing this NISAR. Alright. You should know the full form NISAR. NISAR stands for NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar, that is SAR. Alright, so do take a note of this also. ISRO, between ISRO and NASA Synthetic Aperture Radar. Alright, moving on to next. Next we'll be talking about ISRO has recently launched a sounding rocket, that is RH560. This sounding rocket RH560 belongs to a Rohini series, that is RH stands for Rohini, and this will be launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center. If we talk about it, the Indian Space Research Organization launched a new sounding rocket from its Rohini series, that is RH560, from Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota range from Andhra Pradesh. The sounding rocket will help in carrying out studies in the upper atmospheric regions on altitude variations in the neutral winds and plasma dynamics. RH560 is a two-stage rocket that can reach a maximum launch altitude of 548 kilometers. They also serve as easily affordable platforms to test or prove prototypes of new components or subsystems intended for the use in launch vehicles and satellites. Here in RH560, RH stands for Rohini and the number 560 represents the diameter of the rocket in millimeter. Alright, so RH is the series of Rohini rockets. About Rohini series. In 1975, all sounding rockets of ISRO were consolidated under the Rohini sounding rocket RSR program. At present, three Rohini series sounding rockets RH200, 300 Mk2 and RH560 Mk2 are under operation. These rockets are capable of carrying 8 to 100 kg payload and reach an altitude of 80 to 475 kilometers. First sounding rocket was launched by ISRO in 1963 from Thumba near Trivandrum, Kerala. ISRO started launching indigenously made sounding rockets from 1965. So this is about Rohini, and the important thing that you need to remember is the sounding rocket RH560 belonged to a series of Rohini, and this will be launched from Satish Dhawan Space Center. Alright, then moving on to next. Next we'll be talking about Russia's space agency Roscosmos has successfully launched 38 foreign satellites from 18 countries into space. Alright, so name of the Russia's space agency is Roscosmos. It successfully launched 38 foreign satellites from various countries, from total of 18 countries, and that was launched into space. Then if we talk about the data, Russian space agency Roscosmos launched 38 satellites from the 18 countries into orbit on its rocket by the name Soyuz 2.1A rocket. Alright, this rocket was launched from Kazakhstan. The satellites belong to 18 countries including South Korea, Japan, Canada, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Italy and Brazil. One of the satellite was Challenge 1, which is the first ever satellite to be made completely in Tunisia. It was created by the Telenet Telecommunication Group. The primary payload, see there were two roads. Primary payload of the mission was 500 kg CAS 501 remote sensing satellite belonging to South Korea. Apart from Astroscale, recently ClearSpace SA is aiming to launch the world's first active debris removal mission in collaboration with European Space Agency by 2025. Alright, so remember, ClearSpace is going to launch a mission for the clearing of debris, means clearing of the space junk from the atmosphere or from the orbit, in collaboration with European Space Agency. This can be also asked in your exam. It is the name of the company is ClearSpace Agency and your European Space Agency. They will be working on the debris removal mission, that is to remove the space junk from the orbits. Alright, then moving on to next. Next we'll be talking about ISRO and JAXA. First of all, you should know that JAXA is a space agency of Japan and ISRO is of India as we know it. So ISRO and JAXA will be together working on a joint lunar exploration satellite mission. Also there is a name from this, that is LUPEX. LUPEX. Alright, joint lunar polar exploration satellite mission. This is a joint cooperation of ISRO and Japan. ISRO and JAXA, that means it is between India and Japan. Alright, and the name of the mission is LUPEX. Do remember this term. It is a lunar exploration satellite mission. ISRO along with Japan's Aerospace Exploration Agency JAXA virtually reviewed the progress made under the joint lunar polar exploration, that is LUPEX mission. LUPEX is a robotic lunar mission that aims to send a lander and rover to the moon's south pole in the year 2024. The discussions took place in a virtual meeting between ISRO and JAXA. The Indian side was led by ISRO's chairman K. Sivan, while the Japan delegation was represented by Hiroshi Yamakawa, who is the president of JAXA, that is the space agency of Japan. Other collaborative activities are the two sides also reviewed the ongoing cooperation in Earth observation, lunar cooperation and satellite navigation. The two sides signed an implementing agreement for collaborative activities on the rice crop area and air quality monitoring using satellite data. If we talk about LUPEX, Under the LUPEX mission, JAXA will provide an under development H3 launch vehicle, and ISRO will be responsible for providing the lander system. Mission objective is the observation of areas where water is believed to exist on the moon, obtain ground data on the quality of water, understanding distribution conditions, form and other parameters of lunar water resources in the polar region, obtain data on the quantity and form of water resources present on the moon. So basically it will be searching for the water particles on the surface of the moon and doing various kinds of research. So this is your LUPEX. LUPEX is a joint lunar polar exploration satellite mission, and it is a collaboration of India and Japan, or you can say between ISRO and JAXA. All right, then moving on to next we'll be talking about an indigenously developed checkout system by Data Patterns. All right, so this indigenously built checkout system was built by the Data Patterns for ISRO for the Gaganyaan mission that will be taking place in 2022 or 2023. So remember the name. Data Patterns is the name of the company that has built and delivered indigenously built checkout system to, and it was delivered to ISRO. And this is for why they delivered this system, indigenously checkout system, to ISRO for the Gaganyaan mission. For the Gaganyaan mission that will be carried out either in 2022 or in 2023. All right. So if we look at the Data Patterns India Private Limited handed over the indigenously developed checkout system to the Indian Space Research Organization for its Gaganyaan mission, India's first human space flight program, that is at Chennai. A checkout system is used for performing health checks on all the cable harnesses assemblies used in the crew for the module of Gaganyaan mission. The checkout system was received by K. Xavier Raja. He is the Deputy Director of HSFC, that is Human Space Flight Center. Human Space Flight Center is responsible for the implementation of the Gaganyaan project. ISRO's Gaganyaan mission is scheduled to launch in 2022 or 2023. If we talk about the Gaganyaan mission, the 10,000 crore Gaganyaan mission aims to send 3-member crew to a space for a period of 5 to 7 days by 2022 to 2023, when India completes 75 years of independence. Alright, that will be a huge mission. That is the name of the mission is Gaganyaan mission. That will be built on a budget of 10,000 crore rupees. They will be sending 3-member crew into space for a period of 5 to 7 days in 2022 to 2023 on, and this will be sent to commemorate the 75 years of independence of India. India's Gaganyaan mission will make in just the 4th nation to send a crew into space after Russia, USA and China. Human Space Flight Center is responsible for implementation of the Gaganyaan mission. It functions under the ISRO. And if we are talking, a Human Space Flight Center will carry out end-to-end mission planning, development of engineering systems for crew survival in space, crew selection, training, and for carrying sustained human space flight missions. It was inaugurated in 2019 and is based at ISRO's headquarter campus at Bangalore. Alright, so this is your Data Patterns who delivered the indigenously checkout system to ISRO for Gaganyaan mission that will be carried out in 2022 or 2023. This Gaganyaan will be your carrying 3 astronauts in space, alright, for a day of 5 to 7 days, that too on the 75th and independence of India. Alright, so do remember it, Gaganyaan mission. Then moving on to next. Next news is, remember that ISRO along with IIST. ISRO is your Indian Space Research Organization along with IIST, that is Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, will be going to take a joint research activities. Alright, so means ISRO and IIST, that is Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, will be working together on various joint research activities. Alright, so it is ISRO along with IIST. They will be working jointly on various research activities. All right, which to ISRO and IIST. ISRO has partnered with Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology to take joint research activities. The partnership model will be similar to JPL Caltech model followed by US Space Agency, National Aeronautics and Space Administration, that is NASA. Jet Propulsion Laboratory is funded by NASA and managed by Caltech, that is California Institute of Technology. It is the leading center for robotic exploration of the solar system and conducts Earth orbit and astronomy missions. Under the initiative, new advanced futuristic projects which have not been undertaken so far by ISRO will be taken up for the development by this joint collaboration of ISRO and IIST. Initiative taken under during these partnerships are: in order to implement the partnership model in India, several initiatives have been taken. A framework has been framed with Capacity Building Program Office. It will act as a focal point for coordinating joint research activities between the two entities. CPBO is located in Bangalore at the headquarters of ISRO. An advanced research group has been created to identify application-oriented research projects of importance to ISRO centers and matching with the interest of IIST faculty. Under this, we will be talking about or will be discussing and doing research on the new advanced futuristic projects which have not been undertaken by ISRO so far. Alright, so it will be a joint initiative of ISRO and IIST. Then next we'll be talking about quantum mechanics, or you can say due of the quantum communication has been taken place recently, and it is a breakthrough in the technological advancement. All right, recently a communication or you can say a quantum communication took place over a distance of 300 meter at a space application center in India, and it is a huge success. All right, it is a very good news that, and because this quantum communication will help us or the people, because this can help in be used for the secured satellite transmission. I repeat, this quantum communication took place over a distance of 300 meter at a space application center that is present in Gujarat, and its application is that it can be used for secured satellite data communication, and it is a huge breakthrough in the technology sector. All right, so quantum communication took place over a distance of 300 meter, and this research was taking place at Space Applications Center, and this center is in Gujarat. All right, and basically the use or the purpose of this research going on was that this, now how they have find out the data and they have done the research, basically this will be now used for secured satellite data communication. Secured satellite data communication. All right, so it can be asked the location that where this project was being taken place. It was being taken place at Space Application Center, that is in Gujarat. For the first time in India, Indian Space Research Organization successfully demonstrated free space quantum communication over a distance of 300 meters. The free space QKD, that is quantum key distribution, was demonstrated at a Space Application Center, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. It is a major milestone achievement for unconditionally secured satellite data communication using quantum technologies. The technologies of the quantum key distribution is the technology behind quantum communication technology. A number of indigenously developed technologies such as NAVIC, that is navigation with Indian constellation receivers, were used for the demonstration. If we talk about the benefit, that quantum cryptography is based on the laws of quantum physics, will be easier than conventional crypto systems used for data encryption, rely on the complexity of mathematics algorithms. It is considered future proof since no future advancement in computational power can break quantum crypto systems. All right, so the computational power means that if a computer is taking to solve a mathematic problem within say 10 minutes, this quantum computer will be able to solve that in less than say 1 microsecond. So it is that fast. So quantum technology is that fast. All right, so basically use of the breakthrough will be for the secured satellite data communication, and this big breakthrough was, or this research was carried out by ISRO. Do remember this also. All right, at Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Then moving on to next Next, remember that ITI has partnered with Thalamus Irwin's health platform Garuda to bring blockchain technology in the healthcare ecosystem. Alright, remember ITI has partnered. The question will be, which two organizations partnered to bring the blockchain technology into healthcare system? They are ITI and the Thalamus Irwin's healthcare systems. Alright, if we talk about it, ITI Limited, the Indian telecom products manufacturing arms, and Thalamus Irwin Delhi-based AI artificial intelligence firm have developed a first of its kind technology called the Garuda blockchain platform. Remember this term, Garuda blockchain platform. This for storing medical data on the blockchain. They have demonstrated a working proof of concept for the technology with 300 patients. The healthcare platform Garuda will accelerate the rollout of the One Nation, One Health Card vision of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The objective is to bring blockchain technology to the healthcare system. If we look at some of the key points, under the Garuda blockchain platform, the very first POC of the AI-based testing was conducted in Bangalore and the second in Delhi airport. To provide data security, ITI has established a 3-tier security center where information of all the health cards of the citizens can be safely stored. With this unique collaboration, ITI will be one of the first PSUs to store medical data on a blockchain network, and India can also come on the list of very few countries that have successfully demonstrated its ability to use blockchain in a healthcare ecosystem. Alright, so name of the healthcare system is Garuda blockchain platform. This will be Garuda blockchain platform is a joint initiative of ITI Limited and the telecom product manufacturing arm and the Thalamus Irwin Delhi based AI intelligence. See, ITI Limited and along this Thalamus Irwin, and this Thalamus Irwin is a AI based company, that is artificial intelligence based company, that is based in Delhi. Alright, so remember these two names, ITI and Thalamus Irwin, that is they together working on a blockchain technology, and they have came up with a blockchain platform by the name Garuda for the healthcare system. Alright, so moving on to next we'll be talking about MV Sindhu. I repeat, we will be talking about MV Sindhu. This is a cargo ship or a cargo vessel that will be posted in Andaman and Nicobar. This has been delivered by Cochin Shipyards Limited. Remember this name, MV Sindhu. This is a cargo vessel, or you can say ship. This MV Sindhu is being built has been delivered by or built by Cochin Shipyards Limited. Alright, so if we talk about it, Cochin Shipyards Limited delivered the indigenously built MV Sindhu, a 150 MT cargo vessel, to the Andaman and Nicobar Island Administration. Specification of MV Sindhu is that it is capable of carrying 500 passengers and can cruise at 60 knots. Knot is the speed in water of a ship or a cargo vessel. CSL will also provide full life cycle support for the ship's efficient operation. The ship is a part of government's plan to add new ships to the transportation fleet for improving the connectivity between the mainland and islands. The reason for the launch is the plan is the part of a larger strategy to develop infrastructure in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, with a state-run National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation being tasked with building bridges and roads at an investment of rupees 3,000 crore. If we talk about Andaman and Nicobar Island Administration, Lieutenant Governor is D.K. Joshi, capital is Port Blair, and if we talk about Cochin Shipyards Limited, the CMD, that is Chairman and Managing Director, is Madhu S. Nair, and the location is Cochin, Kerala. Alright, so this is your MV Sindhu that is being built by Cochin Shipyards Limited, and this will be delivered or will be given to Andaman and Nicobar Administration. Then next do remember these two, these are very important. Alright, first is your supercomputer by the name Fugaku. Fugaku is a supercomputer that has been built by Japan, remember, which is the most powerful supercomputer built by in today's world. It is Fugaku and it is being built by Japan. Fugaku, the Japanese supercomputer that topped the top 50 list for 2 consecutive years, is now fully operational. The supercomputer that was developed for 6 years by Japanese Scientific Research Institute Riken and Fujitsu was used in projects to combat COVID-19 pandemic. Japan's Research Organization for Information Science and Technology has selected 74 projects that will use the supercomputer in fiscal year 2020-21. This will work towards the Japanese government's vision of an ultra smart society 5.0. Then next is your that Hewlett Packard, that is HP company that makes your laptops, desktops or your printers and other equipments. HP has made the world's first PC using the plastic waste that from the ocean. All right, means this company Hewlett Packard had made the world's first personal computer using the plastic waste that was found from the ocean. To build the HP sustainability commitment, the HP Pavilion lineup, that is HP Pavilion 13, 14 and HP Pavilion 15 laptop, uses the post-consumer recycled and plastic waste in the ocean and construction of the speaker housing. The Pavilion series is set to keep around 92,000 plastic bottles out of the ocean and landfills. Alright, so do remember these two, that is the most powerful supercomputer is of the most powerful supercomputer Fugaku is being built by Japan, and the first plastic waste PC, that is personal computer, built by HP, that is your Hewlett Packard. So friends, this was our video. I hope you enjoyed our video. If you liked our video, do hit the like button, share the link with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel or if you are new to our channel, then do subscribe because it motivates us to bring a better content for you guys. Also, if you have any trouble regarding login or payment or any other issues, then you can reach to us on our mail, that is support@affairscloud.com, or you can call us on the number 9677333862 and we'll resolve your issue as soon as possible. Also, you should go and check our courses that are available at a very reasonable price and that will help you to boost your preparations for upcoming government exams. You can use the code Vikas10 to get a straight 10% discount on any purchase you make. Alright, so that's all for the day. Take care.